The episode where he went to college, and it was just kind of weird how they juxtaposed like how his life could have been, as opposed to how it's really played out. You know, and I think it's kind of like Plato's allegory of the cave. If you don't go beyond what you see in your day to day, you'll just kind of get stuck in that world and think that's all there is. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, even me now, like I'm in nursing school. I never would have thought, like, me be a nurse. Like I never thought I'd be be studying to become a registered nurse. But I expanded my ecosystem. I interacted with different people, and it just broadened my horizons. So I'm really just hoping, back to what you said about black men, that we can really be more transparent with each other and genuinely build, and just stop this whole pissing contest with each other,
I think, and it's something I think is presenting myself more now that I have, kids, like, to really build, we need to be more conscious of building more with people younger than us, especially young boys.
That's right.
Because they are the change. We are changing. We are the change, but they definitely carry on. There's new people on this earth welcomed every day.
Right.
Like the healthy interactions despite personality, because we notice. Somebody was trying to like check me on this on Facebook the other day. I basically shared a meme saying that if I see my kid getting jumped by other kids, that the boo boos will arrive. You know what I'm saying? And I still stand by that, but
you should.
But I think it brought attention to like sometimes we're so quick to label kids bad and like throw the kids away. If we throw the kids away, of course it's easy not to fuck with people your age or older. Like, you know what I mean? Children, if we allow them to like harness their true spirit and we don't try to crush their spirit by listen to me. You know what I'm saying? Do as I say. You doing it wrong. You doing shit right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's how we got programmed and taught. Niggas never forgave themselves or forgave the situations that, what I'm saying, and we end up creating these cycles. And everybody got different personalities. Some people are just more naturally aggressive or brolic, but they may mean well. It's about how do we discipline it but still learn and still let them teach us as well to that I think it would create something different, even with we want to have bad kids, because I believe more like there's no good or bad children. Children are just children. Some come with different personalities and challenges than others, and you can't treat everybody with the same blanket, which I'm not. It sounds easier than what it is to practice because we're human. So of course, people piss you off. How you react, you try not to judge, or you judging. It's not just like easy. Like we treat all the kids the same. Right. Some are here to challenge you. Some you're not gonna like. But it's like, but how do we come together and work together as people? Because we don't like every black person. I don't feel like I hate anybody. But there's people who I may not get along with, or they don't like me, or whatever. But there's a common goal that we keep saying is liberation, which is just having freedom and autonomy to just be.
That's real.
Before we talking all about politics, then we have to figure out how to get along. I'm not to be cynical or shift the subject, or to be cynical, but it's just like, if racism wasn't an issue to help suppress or oppress, have somebody over somebody else, it would be another system. Right. It may just be,
classism,
whether classism or sexism or some other ism,
Yeah.
That's human nature. That's that animal human Like, you know, that's your ego, your animal self trying to make peace with your God self and kind of just find that balance.
Wow, that's major. And I think capitalism kind of plays into that. You know, like it's almost like we're like, you know, I guess to talk about biology a little bit, it's almost like we're these organisms that are competing for resources. You take the money you make is money that comes out of my pocket, you know, and I think it kind of, to an extent, I feel like capitalism makes us less human because everything becomes dollars and cents. You know, like you're not even thinking about the fact that you're interacting with a person. Like, what have you? I think in the 80s or the 70s, Ford Motor Company had I can't remember the name of the car, but the car was faulty. Whereas, like, if somebody hit the gas tank, it would explode. And there were a couple of incidents where that happened. And Ford was like, okay, let's do a cost-benefit analysis. We'll make more money. We'll come out better paying for funerals than making a massive recall on all these cars and redesigning them.
Jeez.
You know, and it's like, so how much is a life really worth? You know, when you got people sitting on top of these corporations making all this money. And, you know, being from Detroit, I've seen how, you know, the big three, Ford, GM, Chrysler, all that. I saw how they outsource jobs because why would I pay you a livable wage and benefits when I can just go to another country and basically pay them nothing? You know what I'm saying? And I just think a lot of things just boil down to greed. I think this earth is replete with enough resources for no child should have to starve. You know, there's enough for everybody, but it's that greed, man. Like I think Elon Musk said something like, I'm giving away all my stuff and I'm going to move to Mars. And I'm sitting here thinking like, dude, shit is fucked up down here. Like, there's people you can help here. Not to say he doesn't help people, but it's just like, I don't know. I just thought that was just kind of bold. Like, you know, I think, I'm thinking of places like LA. We make up 8%, black people make up 8% of the city's population and over 60% of the homeless population. You know, that's crazy. You know, that supposedly we live in the wealthiest nation and you have tent cities. And it's even worse in Oakland, I think. Yeah, the Bay Area, it's over with, you know. But that's just my little rant. But let's talk about some hip hop, man. So, yourself as an artist in Atlanta, how has COVID affected you?
I mean, it's affected me, you know, how it's affected everybody else. You know, it's just about re-strategizing. I'll be honest, like, I've been passively, like, promoting my latest release. That's because I need some space to regain and recenter myself with just all these other life changes. You know, COVID is just another part of life. It's not my life.
Got you.
But it has affected my life. You know, my father's mother, she allegedly, you know, passed away from COVID-19 complications a couple of months ago. You know, yeah, you know, it's unfortunate. It's just like you have to balance getting caught up. What is it? What is not?
Right.
You don't really know. It's a little truth with a little lie, I'm sure. But you know, it is real. It's tangible because of that. Everything else is operating differently.
Right.
So this is a space and time for me to regain how to like operate differently, operate more effectively, and be open to change. You know,
Right.
I feel like in a way this is just another opportunity for me to learn how to tap into my creativity and really present myself, and gain more people's attention.
It's interesting you say that because when you mention opportunity, I think in Japanese culture, the same symbol that they use for despair is the same symbol that they use for hope. So even in the midst of turmoil, there are opportunities. Like I know, even in, not to say that I'm coming up off a crisis. I don't look at it like that. But the fact that COVID has taken place, there's more money for school. Like they're giving more grant money. And I guess I'm saying all that to say, like, even in the midst of the worst times or any type of tragedy, you have to keep your eyes open for opportunities. You know, because there's always, I mean, there's a book, it's called Tragedy and Hope by Carol Quigley. And in the book, it's pretty much about politics. But the general theme I got from it is, you know, even though you have people conspiring to do evil, something good can come out of it. And I know that may sound kind of twisted, but there's always, you know, you can't block the sun. You know, I feel like at the end of the day, something is always, there's always going to be a reason to live or a reason to push forward.
What you think about that? You mentioned them giving more money for schools. What you think about that? How you feel?
I can only speak in context of my situation. I know it would have been, like, if they weren't giving this money out, it would have been harder for me to go back. But I guess, I'm trying to make sure I'm answering your question correctly. I look at it like, maybe, I don't know, possibly they realize, like, okay, people, we're in a bad space, let's invest in education. That's the only thing I could possibly think. Maybe they feel like, you know, in the midst of this, let's allocate funds for people who may want to call an audible in their career. I mean, 'cause that's pretty much what I'm doing, you know. I don't know if that answers your question, but
I feel like, for the most part, in a way, formal education is obsolete.
okay.
I feel like it's just, it's a big hustle. Now, you can hustle them too. It's just all about how you do it.
Right.
I don't want to elaborate, you know, hypothetically speaking, but I mean, my just personal take, if you're not getting formal training to do a formal role, like, you know, you have to have certain certification to be a lawyer or even a plumber or,
right.
or a chef, you know, something that actually, you know, is almost
skill.
like an artisan type skill with your tool kit, you know. Outside of that, you know, you don't really, like, outside of just learning the principles of mathematics, unless you plan to be some type of astronomer or you even an architect, you know what I'm saying, where math, you gotta learn these different schools of math. Like, you don't really need school.
No, I agree.
And I've been surprised as I've been meeting more people over the years who they never graduated high school, and you don't, I mean, these things that you taught that you need, you don't.
Well, I guess
and I'm just saying that just because to the money thing.
Okay.
You know, there's plenty of kids, and especially like once you graduate from like high school or you want to go to college. Like for me, I didn't necessarily know what I wanted to do. Or I did, but I didn't know how I want to go about it right away. I didn't have a bunch of bread, so I went to school. And like, there's so many young people and older people too, that go to school not knowing what it's just. It's one of the easiest ways for us to collect debt and for to being owing something, you know. And in most cases, those loans ain't getting paid back. But there's people that we don't know about, or things going on where people bet on loans failing and they getting their money. You know what I'm saying? That's why all, you know, these different loans and whatever, you know. But you know, there's plenty of people that just go to school. They only going to school to get a refund check because they know.
True story.
That I'm gonna get a couple of bands, and whatever I decide to do with those bands shit, I could probably pay off my debt anyway and not get the degree right now. I mean, degrees, motherfuckers get honorary degrees
Right.
all the time and never stepped a foot in school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Got schools there. So, I don't...
I guess the way I look at it, I think it was what did Mark Twain say? Never let school get in the way of your learning. So I feel like school as we know it is not education as we know it rather is not relegated to just the classroom. You know what I'm saying? And I do feel, I mean, if you talk to a lot of people who are like CEOs and running these companies, the biggest issue they have with a lot of college graduates is they feel like they learn through rote learning, meaning like basically their brain is like a trash can, stuff got dumped in it, but they don't know how to think outside the box or think critically. You're not gonna you're not gonna necessarily get that from school. That you're gonna be given a model, and you just follow that model. And I would even argue, like, you know, if I'm in favor of trade school. You know, like I got a friend that's in Oakland. He's a plumber, making bread.
70, 80,000.
Making bread. I got friends that work in HVAC.
But that's what I'm saying. This is the twisted shit. Like, I don't know how, you know, I know you grew up in the Midwest. Like, like here, they start putting you on these education tracks from like middle school. They start telling you about, you know, in 8th grade, you could take, you know, CP, college prep.
Yeah, we had,
or
yeah.
you could take technical.
Right.
And determine on the choice you made in middle school and high school, that's what track they try to put you on. So you're on the technical track, so you're not trying to go to college.
Right.
So the perception is like, oh, that's for, these are the people who want to slack, they're dumb.
Right.
They want to slack, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But a lot of us, after the fact, is like, damn, peep game, okay, they just were taught the necessity shits. Then they got put on like, well, go study whatever trade you think you gotta go to. We got a school for you for that.